just thinking, and I realized I have not done a video yet to tell what this channel is about, who I am, what we're planning on doing, and consider this that video, the intro to RPM Chuck, the Nitrous Chronicles. So, first off, I'm Chuck. I'm a tech writer with RPM Magazine since 2008. This is RPM Magazine. Fast street cars, drag racing, that kind of stuff. And what I usually do in the magazine is tech articles like how to do stuff, tool reviews, build articles, the project car, and such as that. So I figure what I'm going to do from now on is, as I do an article for the magazine, I'm also going to do a video to accompany that will basically tell the same stuff, but maybe a little more and with a little more shenanigans involved. And also I'll do some other videos that have nothing to do with the magazine articles at all. Some extra stuff, maybe some stuff that we did in the past that's already been printed. So that's what this is going to be about, and I guess I should introduce you to the car. This is RPM Magazine Project 4 Lug Thug, or what's left of it. It's been sitting here collecting dust for several years. Sat in a enclosed car trailer for over 2 years. And so about ready to get it back going and do some racing with it. I'm going to try some new stuff. As you can see, call it 4 Lug Thug because it's still got 4 lugs even in the back. Yep, that's 4 lug 12-inch V-locks. Whole shot wheels. They custom made them wheels for me a long time ago. So the car is an example of when you don't stick with your plan and change your mind a whole lot, because it was originally going to be a street car that was going to be driven on the road and every once in a while take the track for a little test and tune fun or something like that, but it kind of got out of hand and didn't end up that way. Problem is, the engine was built for that exact purpose. It's a low compression nitrous engine. As you know, that's kind of not the optimum for performance. This is a 10.7 to 1 434 cubic inch small block Ford. It's got a Dart iron block, trick flow 240 high port heads, and these heads are straight off of Summit. They're nothing special except we got a larger 125 titanium intake valve in it. The manifold was done by Wilson Manifolds. They ported it and converted it over to EFI. It's started out in life as an Edelbrock 2828. The motor was the camshaft in this thing is really one of the biggest problems right now, because it was spec'd out for like a maximum of a 250 shot. So I've sprayed at least double that, and it's gone fast, but it's really, really hard to keep in check. It doesn't like any timing. It really isn't getting the heat out of the motor. That really needs to be changed. And so this motor also has Jessel belt drive, ATI dampener. It's got Holley EFI, Holley throttle body. It's got a Dominator EFI on it. It actually has EGTs and O2 sensors in every pipe, so that's a little different. Those headers are Cook's muffler collector, and Mark Gongliff worked for Richard Childress, did those funky looking headers. He was trying to get them close to equal length. I don't know really how much that matters with this on a nitrous engine, probably not any, but it makes for a wild looking set of headers, and definitely it's a lot of looks. And we got the Mazir water pump that's mounted to the radiator. Got a what else? That's about it. Back in 2018, I heard it a little bit in a race. Lifted a ringland on #1 cylinder. are a lot of factors involved in keeping a nitrous engine alive and keeping from hurting it. Especially on a small block, it's even worse than a big block. But it's not just your tune-up, it's also the camshaft, the converter, the heat that you let get in the motor before you make a pass, the load on the engine from weight and whatnot, gearing, all that stuff plays a big part in whether or not you keep the motor happy or you end up hurting it all the time. The cylinder heads make a huge difference, the chambers and stuff. But in this situation, I was already fighting this car because of the camshaft really wasn't optimized for as big a shot of nitrous as we had on it. And on that particular race, we had been hot lapped. So I just made a pass before that, the previous round, and had to go straight back up to the line and get ready to make another one. So I'd never had time to cool the car down. Everything was hot. It was way hotter than it was used to being ran at when my tune-up was set at. And I didn't really have anywhere to go with it because I didn't have time to change anything. And even if I did, I really didn't have much more time that I could take out of the motor anyway without end up getting an exhaust valve or something on it. So I should have just sat it out and forfeited that race and let it go. But you know how that goes. It's kind of hard to do. So went ahead and made the pass and paid for it at the end. But it just gives us an opportunity to do something different. You know how that goes. Always go back better than you was before you broke something. So that needs to be fixed, but I didn't really want to just replace that piston because it really needed to be completely updated anyway, and didn't want to waste the time to do that and the money to do that because it really needs more compression, needs a different camshaft. And while I'm in there, I might as well put a little bigger crank in it and get a little more cubes out of it. So it looks radical, but it's a little puppy dog. It's really not anything to write home about, but it's ran really well for what it is, and hopefully we're going to come back out and I'm going to go through it all with you and show you how we go from a street strip car to a street strip engine to a more of a heads up style nitrous small block. So that's that. And the car itself, a little heavy, weighs 2750 with me in it. Of course, I weigh 270 pounds, so that doesn't help anything, but it's got a hardwood fiberglass front clip on it. It's had a lot of stuff done to lighten it up. Got a little bitty Be Cool radiator. It's got all chrome moly cage, but still got steel doors, and it still has a factory floor. And it actually, I did it back in originally did it. I didn't really care about how much it weighed because I was going to street drive it, and it's got 2x3 subframe in it, so it's a little beefy. So we're gonna maybe do some more weight loss in this thing, and do some stuff to the floor and use some tube in the floor instead of that square frame, and maybe put in a different transmission tunnel. I'm gonna do a few things to it. Probably gonna raise the engine up a little bit to get it off so close to the ground so we can actually lower the car more and get it set it up a little differently. And car does still have stock suspension. Scale got the stock torque boxes and that kind of stuff. Been modified. Same what we're going to do to Stacy's car. So I'll show you how we did that to achieve the proper geometry on this car without spending a whole bunch of extra money on aftermarket torque boxes and that kind of stuff. Car's always worked good. 60 foot's in the mid to low 1-teens, but I think it could do a whole lot better with more power and a little lighter. So, and we've always done drag radials. I've got my very first set of drag radials in 1999, and I've always used drag radials since then. I've only owned 2 pairs of bias ply slicks in my life, and those are actually ET Street, the old ones that were basically like a slick with the little grooves in it to make it street legal. So I'm a radial type guy, but we're probably going to have to try something a little different because I think I'm going to no prep this car a little bit and kind of get back to my original roots before I actually raced at the racetrack. And it's going to be a little while before we get really busy on this car much because we're going to work on this one. This is my buddy Stacy's car. called Nasty GT. You guys probably met Stacy kind of a little bit on the tubing bender video. So this is his car. He's owned this car since 1994. He drove it to high school. And so we're not going to no prep this one because we don't want to tear it up. It's got some sentimental value to it. It's got a nasty little small block in it. And it's also EFI, Nitrous Express. But we're gonna probably maybe tube out the front. We're gonna redo the suspension completely, upgrade it a little bit with some racecraft stuff. Gonna rewire it because somebody did a horrible wiring job on it before, and it's kind of a mess, and we can't really tell what anything is. And yeah, so we're gonna update all that, get old Stacy going, do a little racing with his car this year. This car will definitely be out this year, this spring, and we'll take you along on the trip with that as far as what we do with it. And first thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do the suspension stuff. I'll take you guys all through that. And so make sure you guys follow that and check it out. Also, I am the creator, owner, I guess, of King of the Streets Drag Racing. Been around since 2004, 2005. We used to go everywhere and race all over the Carolinas and Virginia and do Civil Wars. And but we kind of scaled it on back now. We're basically we just race at Motor Mile Dragway in Dublin, Virginia. So if you're interested in small tire drag racing, you might want to check that out. Corey at Spool Media, he's got a bunch of videos from some of those races. And also this year we're going to do some no prep races for the first time. So that'll be held on a different time than our regular radial type racing, because obviously you can't do those two things on the same day. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, be sure to check it out, follow it. And so like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be sure to comment, even if it's mean and nasty. Just go ahead, just tell me what a dork I am. Go for it. Chuck out.